L'chaim, everyone. Good Shabbos. We're getting ready for Shabbos here. It's going to be a beautiful Shabbos, time of celebration, of joy. Still in Adar, the month of happiness and joy in Judaism. So I saw that on Wednesday. First of all, l'chaim. On Wednesday, I saw that Texas and Mississippi, I think, removed their mask mandate. It's a big controversy. They're doing it too early. I'm not going to get into the politics of it because that's not my business, although I always recommend that we follow the CDC guidelines because that's their expertise and that's their specialty, and saving lives is the most important thing. But that's not for me to get involved in. But I do want to speak about another mask. When's the first mask removal and the first mask we learn about in the Torah? And the answer is that in this week's Torah portion, we read about Moses going up to get the second tablets. And when Moses came down with the second tablets, it says, Ki karan ored panav. His face was aglow, full of light and radiance, and the Jewish people couldn't handle it. So Moshe would put masval panav. Moshe put a mask on his face. And every time he was with the Jewish people, he wore a mask that the light and the radiance shouldn't overpower them. And the only time he took it off was when he spoke to them. And when he went to speak to Hashem, he would take it off. And then when he came back to the Jewish people, he would put on the mask. And it's interesting because how do we know that Moses' face shone after the second tablets? Because the Torah says, Ki karan ored panav. His face was illuminating and full of light and radiance. But many, in the medieval time, many of the non-Jews thought that the word karan, which means light beaming, really meant keren, which means horns. And that's why Michelangelo, in his famous painting of Moses, he has Moses with horns coming out of him. And that's where the whole anti-Semitic myth came, that Jews have horns. Because the word says karan, which means that the light was beaming out of him, and instead they took it as keren, as horns. But in any case, where did Moses get this light from? What happened that suddenly Moses had such a great light that he had to wear a mask? What changed? And the rabbis say a fascinating interpretation. The rabbis say that when Moses went up to get the second 10 commandments, God took some of the ink that he wrote the Torah with and he put it on Moses. And when Moses got that ink, he radiated with light. But the question, of course, is how did God have extra ink? We know that God, everything is precise. Where's the extra ink from? So the rabbis tell us a marvelous commentary. In the book of Numbers, God testifies about Moses, that Moses is the most humble from all people. Anav. Anav means humble. But the way you write Anav is Ali, Ayin, Nun, Yud, Vav. And if you read it in the Torah, it's missing a Yud. The rabbis say Moses was so humble, he had a hard time writing about himself that he was humble. So there was a Yud that he didn't write. He wrote it without the Yud. And that Yud, God put on him, which made him radiate. But what does it mean on a deeper level? And the answer is, one of the beautiful commentaries give is like this. That basically what it's telling us is like this. You know, we always speak about the Torah. Torah is light. Torah is holiness. Torah is the joy. But really what God's telling us is that there's the Torah, the scroll that we carry, that we dance with, that we study, that we embrace. And then there's the Torah as it is on the person. The Torah as it is within us. When we want to find the light, the joy, the love within us, it's really the Torah that we embrace. When we study, when we embrace the Torah, when we become one with it, then suddenly the light shines on us. The letters of the Torah shine from within us. It changes our character, it changes our personality, who we are. We become kinder. We become more caring, more loving, more sensitive, more spiritual. That's the gift of Torah. And that's why we have to learn the Torah. And that's what the message when the Torah tells us that God took a letter Yud and put it on Moses was really telling us that Moses found the Torah within him. And therefore suddenly he was radiant. He was shining in such a way that the Jewish people couldn't tolerate it, and he had to wear a mask. And it's even more powerful. In this week's Haftorah, we read the Haftorah of Ezekiel. And Ezekiel says some of the most beautiful words. He says that God says in the time of redemption, "Asati lechem," and I will give to you Leiv Chadash, a new heart, Veruach Chadash, and a new spirit, Etein b'kirbechem, I will give within you. V'hasiroisi es leiva even mibsarchem, and I will remove the heart of stone from within you. V'nasati lochem leiv basar, and I will give you a heart of flesh. God says that he will remove the heart of stone, the heart of coldness, the heart of apathy, the heart of arrogance, the heart of selfishness. V'etein lochem leiv basar, I will give within you a heart of flesh, a heart of humanity, a heart of kindness, a heart of gentleness. He continues, and what will I be? I'll put in within you my spirit. And I will do those of you who follow my ways, and those who follow my ways. What God is telling us is, how do we remove the heart of stone within us and the spirit of arrogance and put within us the heart of flesh, the Spirit of God within us? And that's through shining the Torah on us. When Moses went up for the first commandments, his face didn't shine. But when he went up for the second commandments, afterwards he came down, his face shone. You know why? Because in the first commandments, when the Jews got it, they were arrogant, they were pompous, God gave us the Torah. We are the greatest. God did so many miracles. He split the sea. He did the 10 plagues on he brought 10 plagues on the Egyptians. We are so powerful. But after Moses broke and shattered the tablets, suddenly the Jews had humility. Their heart of stone was removed and was replaced with a heart of flesh. It was replaced with the Spirit of God instead of spirit of arrogance. And that's when our light and our face begins to shine and radiate through humility, through Torah, through study. And therefore I beg you all, as we get ready for Passover and we get ready to embrace a new year of redemption, of hope, of spirit, as we get ready to celebrate the Shabbos of Kisisa, which is forgiveness, but also of radiance and light, that we embrace the Torah, we embrace its values, we study it, we let it enlighten us and illuminate our lives, that the love, the joy of the Torah permeate our hearts and our homes. Look at us, we're celebrating Shabbos with so much joy and love, the greatest gift that God gave us. L'chaim to everyone. Have a great Shabbos. We look forward to starting to celebrate in a safe way for all those that have vaccines and are double vaccinated to come celebrate with us Shabbos and go back to the ways of joy that we had in community, in embracing each other in a way of love, light, and a heart of flesh. May Hashem bless each and every one of you, that the heart of stone be removed from you, and the heart of love and flesh of joy, of compassion, be within you forever. L'chaim. Want to say good Shabbos? Say good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
You like Shabbos?
Yes.
All right.
Shabbos